This is the John Hallett Podcast with John Hallett.
Because the way we're living, we need to change it, make a change today. And all learn from failure. Maybe they just wanted it a little bit more than you. Hey everybody, how are you guys doing today? Joined as always in the gym. I was gonna say studio, but it's not really a studio. Josh with me. How you doing, Josh?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. A little sore from tricep. How are you doing today?
Oh, it's been fantastic, man. I'm a little sore from
Storage just gave me.
Wow.
So, well, it's another week's gone by really super fast. We've been doing some good training. Murph's always good. We're working on a little short thing. 10 steps, how to suck less, still trying to title it. Version of Murph that they're just like, I'm like, then pick something hard for you.
Right. Yeah.
You know, challenge yourself with some exercise. And it doesn't always have to be something. I don't like those. Well, good.
Well,
Get out of your comfort zone. I don't like doing burpees. I don't like working out. Is the reason half of America is fat. Mm-hmm. I don't like to. You're like, just do something. That's what I love about Murph. I always strive to do the best. My knees have been giving me a problem. Actually, I noticed in your video, I'm like, I'm not down quite as low as I would like to, but my knees were just so darn achy the last month and a half here. I'm like, all right, well, I'll accept that. And there was some.
Well, you've also been nonstop since IDS 2.0. Let's be honest. Like nonstop.
Yeah, for one, it's been.
Yeah, I was gonna say all the way back to March.
It's always keep busy, do something, train hard, but you know, like I like challenging myself, and even I don't like getting a bad push-up, and that's probably where my triceps are killing me. That just going down all the way to the bottom and just making sure they're as clean as possible. I'm like it's a hero workout. Like, it's one thing to scale it for, different reasons, or I don't want to be wrecked because I've got whatever. Mm-hmm. That's all fine, but I just don't like scaling. I don't like cheating the movement. Mm-hmm. I don't think some people don't realize their form. I'm like, videotape yourself. Get that form down. I'm like, that's just the king. Right. Movement, you've got to just do proper movement.
When I first started, you just told me get it right. I don't care if you do 2 of them. Do 2 really good ones. Something. Right.
I don't know if I said it on this podcast, but I was saying it to the kids. I'm like, would you rather have 1 good cupcake or 10 throw-up cupcakes? And of course, the boys are like, 12? I'm like, they're throw-up cupcakes.
Right. I mean, it's a lot.
They taste like throw-up. Do you really want 12 throw-up cupcakes? Seriously. Like, get 1 good one.
Right.
That I try to, everybody's crappy. I know when I have bad movement different times or in that workout, I'm like, ooh, that push-up, I don't like it. Like, better time to rest. Like, it was getting... like an iffy one, like, I didn't like how I came up on that one, and I'll rest right there instead of like, I'm going to fight through another one. You could, but it's crap.
Yeah.
So I just don't like accepting crappy movement on any of it. That's why I like doing Murph or any workout for that matter with my buddy Mike Pinnell. He's a beast and always has great movement, so he's good to kind of pace against a workout like that. But challenge yourself. You're out there, you miss Murph, then do it. You never, maybe you can't do a pull-up, then do ring rows or do banded.
Something.
That's, all that stuff. Do the push-ups from your knees. That's a place to start, and you just keep pushing yourself and pushing yourself. But I just don't understand why people don't want to challenge themselves in some manner. I'm like, you'd be so much better off.
They're comfortable, man.
Zone.
They're comfortable. You tell me that all the time. I mean, why would you want to get out of someplace comfortable to do something uncomfortable if you don't have the motivation?
Yeah, you don't have. I'm like, don't worry, chatbot is coming for you. You won't have to do anything. It'll take over your life. You'll become a cyborg. Don't worry. You won't have to exercise. they'll put a freaking USB. Well, it won't be a USB cable, but they'll put some cable to your brain, and you can just stay there.
I don't know if I want that. I mean, so there are people that have had some of those brain implants, and then after they had them removed, they said they felt they became dependent on the implant. Like a piece of them was missing.
For like
so
it's
Neuralink.
limb?
It was for Neuralink for Tesla.
Okay.
When they were talking about that, because they put it in, and if they described, and I was kind of reading the study that they did on it, and they said they felt like someone else was there, but it was a companion at first. It was weird because it felt like something different was in their head. And then when they took it out, they felt like they were lonely because now they were missing a part of something. And they couldn't quite put a description on it, right? Because nothing like that has ever existed before, as far as I know. Having an implant in your head and then getting used to it and having it taken away, right? It'd be like giving somebody a drug and then having a weird withdrawal.
And that was like, what was the Neuralink? It wasn't to control a limb. It was just like
access to information. I don't know. Nobody really described how it was working. They would just describe how the feeling.
Like access to the internet.
Yeah,
it'd be weird. I think there's a real slippery slope here. There's some stuff of like, I saw.
It's just crazy.
A special, it was 60 Minutes or one of the Sunday shows of that the government sponsored for for military and disabled, that they were gaining control of a limb or feeling like that limb was there. I think that stuff's great, but then you get into like, well, let me access a whole database of everything. Can you imagine, Josh? Can you imagine? Like, hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine if our wives got a hold of this in their head and then they could recall absolutely everything we did wrong?
They already do that now. Well, mine does that now.
Like, hey, what you did this. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Just what people would be like, hey, you know what, Josh? You did this. And you know what? My chat just hacked into your chat.
Yeah.
And you were calling me an asshole the other day. Mm-hmm.
Well, what happens when they can take that link, right, and they replay the memory on the TV?
Yeah.
As like a video, right? And you're like, remember this? No. And then they play it.
Yeah. Remember this. Yeah, I just saw those, they're Ray-Bans, but they're like Facebook glasses that you can just touch them and they start recording.
Yeah, I saw those.
You're like, I don't like the looks of them, but in some instances you're like, yeah, that would be great if you got somebody talking trash in front of you that you think, I don't know how this is going to go down. I want, it's my word against their word. Mm-hmm. If I could have video, I think that would be fantastic.
What happens if you go to court and they subpoena the memory?
Oh, you're talking the memory. I'm just talking about a video.
Yeah, well, what if the Neuralink hooks up to the TV, right, and they can upload the memory?
Yeah, upload the memory.
Then they'd really screw us, right? And then, or maybe it exonerates
like, hey, you didn't remember it right. You said this. Yeah, I mean,
here's the replay. Guy needs his replay.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff is scary. It's kind of like whatever commercial, I don't know who it is, that it's always the wife, and you're like, oh, let's go back to the instant replay. And the husband's always...
Bring the life jackets, I think.
Yeah, what was it? Is it the life jackets or the tent in that one, then outdoors by the stream? You're like, nope, you forgot.
It's like, crap.
Yeah, I think that stuff is scary.
It is.
I don't think, but, in some instances, you're like, yeah, this, that could be pretty good.
Could be real.
But
on the horizon.
Some of that stuff, it's not. And I think people really should just, get out of their comfort zone and stop relying on so much of this crap. And it's Joe Rogan and one of my longtime idols, Boss Rutan, are on the Joe Rogan MMA podcast.
Nice.
And they were talking about stem cells and different things like that. And Joe brought up a really great point that, look, this stuff is such a good positive, and there's so much regulation in our country where people are going to Mexico or going somewhere else to get this stuff, and it's like, it's the drug companies. Wait, if you're in pain, you're going to be off that prescription? Hold on. Hold on. We have to put some regulations around this stuff.
Or get you on something else.
Because that, we don't want you to be like doing a course or a procedure, whatever it is. It was like a 6-week procedure or 3, they were talking about, being down there and getting, multiple stem cells or whatever they were exactly talking about, procedure done. And you're like, okay, you did it over a week. He said he felt like, so good for 6 months. Hold on a second.
Right.
wait, you're not going to be on my prescription med? Hold on a second.
Yeah, let's
talk to some we got to put some regulations around this. It's
right, because you need to buy our product.
Yeah, it's again big pharma. Like, screw those guys. I'd rather stay off that stuff as
much as possible.
Prescriptions, but people are like, I'm fat, let me get on something. How about you eat right
and exercise?
And yeah, there's a time for prescriptions, obviously, but so many people just rely on the easy button. It's just annoying.
So what do you think of like those drugs like Golo and stuff like that?
And you're like, and you're driving up healthcare costs, and now I have to pay more for my healthcare because you're on so many damn prescriptions that if you took care of yourself, would all be better. It's kind of my wife says, it's like getting your oil changed in your car. Take care of your car, and you're going to have less maintenance. People don't take care of themselves,
right?
And it's kind of like some of that. I mean, it's been around for a while. Is some of those car companies that have those little inserts and can see what type of driver you are. And of course, they've always done, oh, geez, Josh, you got 5 speeding tickets.
Right.
You're friggin' going to get into an accident.
You average 50 miles an hour to 35.
Because you're perpetually getting speeding tickets or whatever it may be.
High risk.
It's like in healthcare, you're really not, I'm not getting any friggin' discount because I take care of myself.
No, generally when you work for yourself, insurance is the biggest problem.
Yeah, let's throw that on there that both of us are
self-employed. Right.
That cost is huge. People don't realize sometimes when they work for somebody like how huge having healthcare
is. Yeah. Just
in
even your taxes
in your
being self-employed
from your employer.
Everything screws you. Yeah.
So. But do something, challenge yourself, guys. Make something up. We talk about this a lot on this podcast, but it's something that'll make you better if you get out of your comfort zone. So Murph is a great one. There's a ton of them, and you don't need to do the full one. That I always say, if you've never done a workout, why don't you try half of it? Or I'll tell guys like, why don't you do this Tabata workout and do the push-ups from your knees and get 10 push-ups from your knees. Mm-hmm. For 8 rounds. And then, ramp it up. It's always be smart. It's not work, because so many people, especially that mindset, that warrior mindset, they can push themselves through, but then they're wrecked. I mean, and it might have been, I don't know if it was Murph, no, it was Cindy, a CrossFit girl workout. Yeah. We did back in the old gym, and I just saw a picture of these girls, doing pictures for the gym, and she was fantastic. She was a great athlete, but she only did the Krav Maga side of the gym. The other 2 girls she was in the workout with and doing it, both were doing CrossFit for whatever it was, 6 months a year, doesn't matter. It was a lot longer than she had been doing it.
Sure.
And I kept telling her in this workout, which was 5 pull-ups, and I can't remember if they were probably doing banded, 10 push-ups, 15 squats. You're doing that workout for 20 minutes. One of my all-time favorite body weight workouts. Mm-hmm. And I kept telling her, I'm like in the workout, like, hey, pace yourself. I'm like, hey, take it easy. Don't try to keep up with Megan and Michelle. And she's like, I'm fine. I'm good. And she got a slight case of rhabdo.
Oh my gosh.
From the pull-ups and like the hanging and that eccentric coming down. And I think her husband was an EMT. She was actually like an x-ray tech. And she took her training seriously because she worked in prisons.
Sure.
So she's doing x-rays and stuff for prisoners. So she took her self-defense training very seriously. She actually bit me one time. So she took it serious, but she hurt herself because of her mind could carry her further than her body. And sometimes we need to get ourselves out of a situation, or I always say, like, what are you going to do? You're stranded in the desert. You're just going to give up, or you're just going to keep dragging yourself through, or you're going to keep going. Like, it's amazing what the human body can do with the right mindset, but then you pay the price. But if it saves your life, it saves your life. It's in a workout, somebody's like, it wasn't worth it. But it's like my tricep. Like, there was nothing that I felt in that workout at all. Besides that, I was camping for 2 days, and I had, a lot of buns on hamburgers, which I don't usually do.
Really?
Yes, really, Josh. Get
You
serious.
occasionally eat real people food?
Real people food? No. I call it written down right there at 15 minutes and 20 seconds. Cut that out, Josh. Real food?
No.
I mean cheap food, sugar, crap, makes you feel
Camping
so
food.
freaking slow.
S'mores.
I did not. My wife's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I really don't. I mean, they're all right. Here's the thing. I don't like getting sticky.
Yeah.
I don't like the sticky, and sometimes marshmallows don't quite do it for me.
Yeah.
I'll take the graham cracker and the chocolate, but I generally eat dirt chocolate, as my wife says. It's like 90%.
Cacao or whatever.
Yeah, I'm like 86 to 90. Like
That stuff's
sometimes
so
I get maybe
bitter.
92. I can't remember if that one's 92, but she's like, it's dirt. She eats 72. But I like a Hershey's bar. I'm like, ugh, it's
sweet.
way too sweet.
Yeah.
Like occasionally, we got like some Smart Food popcorn. We stopped and got pizza in Fort Garland, and it was really pretty. This place was really good. It looks like a total. It's old. It's Fort Garland. There's not much out there, but this pizza was fantastic.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The women in there were fantastic, and they actually had these pies. Oh my god! If we weren't camping. Oh, my daughter, I'm like, look at those pies that they make. They're so good. They look so good. But yeah, occasionally, but I was feeling like slow. I'm like, oh, I have not been eating good for, consecutive days.
Yeah.
But, sometimes you get, it's okay. Let yourself go, quote unquote. I was still having eggs and bacon for breakfast and coffee, but lunch was, a turkey sandwich and cheese, which, I'm generally can be back and forth on cheese, but I try not to eat cheese unless it's on pizza and worth it as a cheat. But man, Sarah Lee makes this artesian bread and artesian rolls. Oh, they're so good.
They are. They're delicious. That's the problem with them sometimes.
Have you had those ones?
Oh yeah.
The artesian ones?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're a discipline. My wife's like, because the boys won't eat hamburgers and they're like, no bun, what? It's like,
it's the kids. It's the kids.
You can't eat a burger with it not being on a bun. I'm like, yeah, you can. It's way better for
I don't know.
you.
I might side with them on the bun thing. Like a hamburger's got to have
It
a
is.
bun.
I mean, if I'm going to have a cheat or like sometimes actually the Red Mountain Grill up in Silverthorne. Oh, man.
That's your jam?
Their cider is really good. And the bun's not, I mean, the bun's pretty darn good, but it does make the burger. But, dude, you don't need it all the time. Like, but it's a discipline check because I'm like, oh man, those buns. My wife's like, you want a bun? I'm like, no, I don't want a bun. Like maybe once in a while I will, but I'm like, no.
Well, don't forget the fries you have to add to a good hamburger. Like, oh.
Well, if it's going to be a cheat, fries are great, but they're terrible. They're terrible. They just make you keep eating. There's something I watched on YouTube
about fries.
Like that you don't get full.
Yeah,
there's something with it that this guy went into, and I'm like, it's interesting. Yeah, I can just keep eating fries and eating fries.
It's like a cracked vegetable, right?
Yeah.
You don't know, you just want more.
You need discipline. I mean, I've said it before. Like, grow up and be an adult and eat correctly. Like, people like, I can't. Yeah, you can. Like, put yourself in the woods or something. I don't know. Like, you need to reset how you're eating. And so many guys like, I kind of intermittent fast. I'm like, I skip lunch. But I'm like, but you ate a bunch of crap. You're not really intermittent. Oh, I do that. And I'm like, no, you're not. Now you're eating a bunch of... You skip lunch because you're busy and you're working. Yeah. But you had a bunch of other crap the rest of the day. Or you had 3 beers.
Sure.
Whatever it is.
Or one meal's 1,000 calories. So that's got to be really bad, right?
Fast food, man. The people and the lines at these places, people just eat like
and they tell you how many calories on there.
And you don't realize because the human body adapts. My wife is always like, I forget what she's like. We're like aliens, something like that she says on. People they can be functioning alcoholics and not really eat any real food. Like, they're just eating crap and drinking.
Hey, when you go to the hospital,
and the body adapts to that. Like, the human body's fantastic. You don't realize how crappy you are and how much you suck right now because your body's adapted. You clean out the system and you eat right, and then you have something crappy. Like, that's like my camping. Like, oh, I feel so sluggish. Like, we climbed the sand dunes and I'm like, oh man. I'm like, that looks really hard. And we're looking up there going, oh man. And then I was like, here comes the excuse, right? I forgot sunblock.
Uh-oh. Did you wear a hat?
Well, I got my awesome Shelta hat. They should sponsor the podcast. I have, my wife doesn't really like it, but I have my Shelta hat. I think Lucy had a baseball hat for camping, but I'm like, oh man. And I'm like, Lucy, we don't have sunblock. We're going to get fried out there. And then as we were sitting there eating lunch in the parking lot at the Great Sand Dunes, I was like, man, I'm putting on my hoodie. It's freaking windy. And then we just
it's cold out of nowhere.
It was blowing, like it had to be gusting to 45.
Yeah, the video showed me it looked sideways.
Yeah.
I was like, man. That's just kind of a miserable hike too.
Yeah, it was tough. Maybe next week we got to do it because I'm like, oh, we should show that video.
So when
I basically went, I'm gonna wear my hoodie. Lucy's like, yeah, I'm cold. I'm like, I think it's gonna be, and it's kind of windy. We might want the hood to, get the wind and sand out of your ears and maybe your face. So we ended up doing it, going, all right, let's do it. Like, we're here. Like, what are we gonna not climb the sand dunes when we're here? Go.
What I hate about
sunblock is one thing. I don't really want to get fried and get sunburned, but
the sand dunes are great, but my mouth always fills up with sand, and you always wonder why people who live in deserts are always wrapping their heads and stuff up, and it's just to keep the sand out of the ears, nose, and eyes, right?
Yeah,
it's like
I was glad. I mean, I had some stuff in my camp gear that we could have wrapped around. What do you want to call that stupid thing that you're talking about?
The shimag or whatever.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it. What was that weird word you were saying earlier today?
That was just my mouth
that was
not working. Go Shelt. I don't know. I don't even remember, man. You were like, "What'd you say to me?" And I was like, "It came in my head. It came out right."
I don't know what you said, but then the phone rang, and I was like, "Oh, that's Shelta. Calling. They want to sponsor the podcast.
They do. That's great.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. Tell them that we've been waiting for a while now.
Yeah, it was a spam risk, but I'm pretty sure it was Shelta.
Yeah,
I'm sure they're
take that one later. Take that one later, dude. Like, walking into those fast food restaurants now, they put menus up that tells you how many calories are there, like on each of those meals. And if you start reading it, you're like, wow, and number 2 is 1,400 calories. 1,400 calories for a single meal.
Yeah,
right. And you wonder why you eat it, and you go to work and you feel tired after lunch because now your body's got to process 1,400 calories, right?
Yeah,
and we. How many? I mean, most people don't even need 1,400 calories a day.
Yeah, I mean, people just
depending on
get
activity.
used to what you're eating, and then you're like, "Oh my god, I'm starving." I'm like, "You're not starving,
right?
It's in your freaking head because your body's used to consuming 5,000 plus calories a day." You just got to make the change and surround yourself with good people, and it's kind of like, hey, you're caught up in this partying crowd after college, and you're like, grow the hell up and stop going to the bar every night, but you still see people, at the bar,
a beer is like 200 calories alone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm back in the neighborhood earlier on Mondays and Tuesdays, and especially now, we try to take the Frenchies for a walk because, they don't do well. I'm very big on exercising for long. I'm like, you guys made it 20 minutes. Good job. I'm like,
the dogs are just.
But it's really their noses, right? You should learn how to breathe right. Frenchies, it's really their nose that is their big problem because they can go fast, but they just can't get enough air with their nose.
Great dog.
But I see people like, it's Monday night, and this past week was Tuesday night. I'm like, and you're sitting around hanging out with the neighbors, having cocktails or whatever you're doing. And I'm like, get out and get to the gym. Go to a yoga class. I don't really care. I'd love if people come to my gym, but hey, you're out there training something. You're my brother, right? You're doing something. You're trying to, crap hits the fan. We've got better people around the neighborhood, better able to defend the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Do something. Of course, I like what we do and believe in what we do, but I'm like, get out and get to a spin class, brother. Like, dude, you're fat.
Right. Now's the time.
Let's talk about the word brother. Because we did that on yesterday, right? Was it yesterday I was talking?
When?
I don't know. I'm always talking, Josh.
I'm staring at you a lot when you talk, but a lot of it is just me thinking
my eyes.
I do. Or I'm in my own head and I'm like, you know what? I have no idea what he just said. I'm just gonna
should say this instead.
Yeah, what is he talking about now? Should I have had my phone out? That's the other one. Should I have recorded this?
Should I record this? Yeah. I'm like, somebody said, but you are. You're like, your brother, if you're doing something, you're doing martial arts, you're training, it's good. I'm like, hey, you're going to the range, great. You have no fitness, but do something, right? Yeah. Do something. And people are like, I don't have any time. I'm like, switch off with your wife. Like, I've got kids. It's always the excuse, right? I make excuses.
I do it all the time.
Sometimes I'm in the gym and I'm like, oh man, I should vacuum. Because I really love a clean gym, and I'm like, I should probably just vacuum instead. That'd be better for business. And I'm like, no, you're making an excuse.
Right. Is it better for you?
We all do it. You just got to get it out of your head. It doesn't matter. It's just listening to the little devil on your shoulder go like, hey, you should totally drink more wine. You totally deserve it. You worked hard today.
Hey, whatever.
The job was stressful. The kids were stressful. It's always friggin' stressful. Just shut up. Tell that voice to shut up. I tell the kids, it's funny the age. I'm like, tell that voice on your shoulder to shut up. They're like,
how'd you know?
You can't tell somebody to shut up. I'm like, it's the voice on your shoulder. It's your voice, so you can tell it to shut up. It's okay. You're not telling another kid or your mom to shut up.
Yeah.
You're telling the little evil voice on your shoulder, eat more ice cream, or I'll be like, ooh, you could sneak into the pantry and get some cookies. They won't even see you. You're like, but we can all listen to that voice, and you just got to get it out of your head. I think it was Jocko that just talked about, you're always tired on one of his podcasts or a debrief. I'm like, and I've said it. Like, the alarm goes off, just get up. Every single day, I could go back in and sleep in. But I get up at 4:24, I think it is. This crazy thing on my alarm.
Yeah, he's like that.
That I just like random. I'm like, I don't want 25. I don't want... Yeah, it's 4:24. Then I got cool emojis on that alarm. It's like fist, lightning, and a dude lifting. If it could be a dude kicking you in the head, that'd be awesome too.
This is what we deal with here. All the time.
I love you, Jeff. No, I wouldn't kick you in the head unless you deserve it.
You have kicked me in the head. What are you talking about?
But I'm tired. Get up. Like, get up and do something. Find something, even if it's on your own. If you're listening to this, you're not here. We've got a fitness class at 5:30 a.m. We've got Krav Maga at 6 a.m. Get up. We have Citizen Defender at 7 a.m. Jeez, okay. That's it. Now it's 9:30, and those people act like it's early in the morning. We've already done a podcast. What else? We've already shot IDS shooting drills.
Yeah.
We've wrestled with Ike before 9:30. Yeah. I mean, get up and do something. Some people are late. I mean, I used to love working out at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's a great time for me, but you readjust. A long-term member, she actually was like one of our first fitness members here in Castle Rock. Cindy V, she's awesome. She's like,
nice.
And I think there's only one other person current that's longer than her, and that's Tom Marks, one of our black belts.
Really?
She's like, how do you really? I'm like, I don't think you know Tom. He's on the Krav Maga side and doesn't come to the gym at your time. But I'm like, yeah, he was in the first location on Wilcox Street.
Wow.
That's why I know he was before you. If not, I'd be like, I don't know which one was here first. Sometimes somebody can remember somebody coming into the gym after them, and that was their first class.
Yeah.
But Tom was at the first location. She was down in the lower level on Wilcox Street, which is now, I always get mixed up, the Great Divide side.
Oh, that's where it was.
So we were on the Great Divide side. It had Red Sky Tattoo and the Navy Marine Corps Recruiter. In there, that building was there for a long time. Yeah. I think the 60s here in Castle Rock, just a little 2-story, like the biggest thing in Castle Rock, 2 stories.
That's changed.
Giant.
That's changed.
Quote monstrosity, looking more like a city. I got drawn into Castle Rock because it seemed like a town. An old western town, and now it's turning into California. But what was I saying about Cindy?
She was a long-term member, getting up and doing stuff.
Yeah, she had just adjusted. She's like, oh, I had to work and I had to go in the office this week, and now she's coming to work out at 5 p.m. And I'm like, she's like, oh, I'm ready to go home. Like, right, your body's ready to unwind there. Yeah. And I'm like, it's just going to take a week or two. You just got to push through. You know, hey, my schedule's changed. Now I have to work out at a different time. It's just like eating. Like, oh, it's time to eat. Well, no, it's not. You're fasting. But your body gets used to it and it anticipates it. And like all of a sudden everything kicks in and your body's like, I'm super hungry.
Yeah.
You know, you push through that, you'll be fine. Have some espresso. And if you're looking for a coffee maker, Breville. They should sponsor it. I've had a Breville for like...
Wow, those are like free plugs today. At least show our ClearSky mug.
Show
the ClearSky mug. Push one of our products.
And Yeti.
Yeah.
You can't... Well,
I can't see it. Further towards your face.
But we do have some other custom ones on there. Somebody gave me this. There's tons of mugs on ClearSky-online.com and Krav Maga-online.com. You can get tons of gear. You can order a CERT pistol at a great savings. If you're not from Castle Rock, we can ship it to you, and we'll just have to add some shipping onto you, whatever that costs. But you can good savings on CERT pistols with us. We've seen them marked up over $100 retail because it had some gun guy's name on it. Just a little sticker. I'm gonna get a sticker and put it on ours.
Worth $100.
Charge you more for your next one, Josh.
What? I think we should just get our own custom ones.
Rash guards.
Right.
You're doing that wall work at IDS, and we've added that wall work for our Krav Maga students. And like rash guards are great. We've added some. And hey, if you're around, I love art and design. So if you want to design, I've made different T-shirts. Andrew's got his own design for something that he wanted a way back. Sometimes I need to think and go and thin out those stores, but there are a ton of stuff on there. And if you had a logo or something you wanted on something or on a rash guard that I had to put on there, let me know. It doesn't take too long, but you better order it. Otherwise, I'm charging you for my time for making you a shirt that you didn't purchase. So
I would just recommend that you guys pick up your Sparkle Sash T-shirt.
Oh yeah,
as soon as possible. Because Sparkle Sash is where it's at. I don't care. Proud Sparkle
Sash. That should be
Sash.
coming in. I should look at that.
I can't wait.
Where is that Sparkle Sash?
I don't know because
shirt.
He teased me with one a while ago.
Pictures on you. I don't know that.
My wife needs to order one. She said she was going to get one and then she didn't.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you're really committed to the cause. No, I shouldn't say that. I'm not throwing her under the bus. She's a saint. She has dealt with a lot of alcoholics that go into hospital a lot. You'd be surprised how many people that do alcohol who have horrible nutrition.
Oh yeah,
dude, it's crazy. I mean,
I talked about it to you or on the podcast, but there was a guy that I knew on Nantucket that, like, oh my gosh, like he ended up with a ton of health problems because he just drank every night after work and didn't eat right. I mean, basically eat coffee shop food and bar food.
Yeah.
Like, was all, like, never really had any fruits or vegetables. I mean, I don't have a lot of fruits and vegetables in my diet. I seem to run pretty darn good without it. I have occasional salad and different things, but I feel pretty good. In there sometimes I feel bloated having like broccoli. It just doesn't sit well in my stomach, different things. And it's not because I don't like the taste. I'm like, it's just how you feel after. And I think that's
I like spinach.
A big issue with a lot of people.
Right.
So, and you're just got to find the diet that works for you. Some things work and some things don't. But, a lot of times, like, yeah, that works, but it's not great for you either. So you're like...
Yeah.
It's just eating right. It's in transit. It's in transit, Josh.
Oh, it's in transit? I can't wait.
Whoa, wait, hold on.
Oh, but there's more.
Now it says out for delivery June 1st.
Oh, that's today.
Arrival at the post office yesterday.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
That's exciting. I can't
out
wait.
for delivery today.
Dude,
I should have it today, and you're wearing it tomorrow.
Obviously, it's going to be a bit of content. That's all I'm going to say because, I'm pretty proud of that. When Todd was calling out all of those call signs for us, I thought I might get something a little different than Sparkle Sash, but you guys had set me up the day before talking about that crazy sash thing, which was a joke I was telling.
It was a joke.
It was a joke, but you were like, oh, he said to get a sash.
I'm like, I couldn't tell, Josh. You got to work on your delivery. I couldn't tell.
There's a reason I don't do comedy for a living, right?
You did comedy for a living?
No, I did go into a competition once and got 4th place.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. It was the very first comedy show I ever tried, and all I got to do is open my mouth, and a lot of funny things come out.
Yeah, like whatever you said today.
Right. Well, especially this morning when I was like, my knee hurts, coach, and you're like, shake it off. No, shake it out. You'll be fine.
You're like, why would you cut my knot off? And I'm like, what the hell?
What'd you just say?
I'm like, what term is that? I don't even know. I'm like,
what's sad is that my wife has said the same thing to me. Like, these words just all stream together, and she's like, was that another language?
I know. I'm like, what are you saying?
She's like, no, just turn off the TV.
I'm like, what is that one word that you just said?
I'm special.
Yeah.
Like short bus kind of special.
So, IDS. We just filmed some stuff on that and how fast the gun comes out, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It is fast. It's crazy. I mean, we mocked up those fights. The first one, I don't know what you're going to do with the video. You weren't trying that. You weren't really trying that hard or trying to match the tempo, which is hard to match. And, which were people like, you could have done this, you could have done that. But, it comes out fast, and even somebody smaller than you, more skilled, you never know. I mean, if you guys aren't training that, if you're concealed carry and you're just giving it lip service, it's just lip service, guys. It's like everything else that we talk about. Like, you got to do it, and it's perishable. Yeah. I hate when you told me a story about a guy like, oh, no, you won't. Want to try? Yeah. No, you don't even want to try. Oh my God, I have no effing respect for you. I hate that. I hate when guys are like, no, you won't. Want to try? No.
Okay.
What the F?
Right.
You're just going to say what you're going to do that you have in your head. Do you even train it? If you trained it, you would be like, yeah, let's go. Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to lose my gun freaking... what are the percentages you think I lose my gun, Josh? 80% of the time?
Yeah.
Not 80, but like 20, 30. I mean, it's a decent number of times when you're fighting with somebody that you're losing your gun. It takes practice. Yeah. I've done tons of hand-to-hand stuff, but that IDS, it's its own discipline, it's guys.
Crazy.
Fighting with that gun. That you're going to the range and you think, if somebody comes at me, bro, I've got him. Oh, yeah, we were talking about the word bro. Do you like it when I say bro?
Dude, I think it's
hilarious. You guys can weigh in.
Right.
I don't know.
Bro is okay, but brah?
Brah?
That one,
brah.
That one I might take your cert from you and hit you with for saying brah.
Come and try. Come over here and
try. No, I try all the time and it doesn't work.
For me. Come over here and try.
No! We do it all the time.
Brah. But if you can't back up your shit, Josh, don't say it.
Hey, well, to you I will. You know I'll try.
If I call you bra again, you're going to come over here and slap me with
my
pistol? You better shut up.
It was the metaphorical you.
That was a metaphorical. It was some other dude.
Right. But it was that dude I was talking to. He's like, hey, man, I carry a gun. And I was like, well, come in and train with us, right? Learn how to to deal with that, how to fight with the gun. You're a gunfighter. They were all gunfighters. They're all great gunfighters, right? But they don't know how to fight with a gun.
And you're not always justified. Time and time
Right.
again, you're not justified to pull that weapon out.
So what do? You got to go to hands, right?
Well,
You got to go to something.
I'm going to kill him, and then there's no witnesses. Yeah, except for
That's still called murder?
Yeah.
Homicide?
Yeah, go ahead and live with that, buddy. Go ahead and
Yeah.
live with it. But unless you're justified, like, I run scenarios in my head all the time.
Yeah.
And, I've never, thankfully, had to. It was a clinic we were down doing in San Antonio, I think it was, in Texas, a bunch of years ago. And, there was a law enforcement guy doing a piece module. I forget what the title was now, but, he had kind of talked about training in Krav Maga, training with a civilian and instructor, where it took him a bit, and you're like, hey, great. It's kind of like, I'm not military. I'm training civilians.
Yeah.
I've gone through civilian training. Yeah, is there a crossover? I love military guys, but people get all butthurt. Like, dude, we're talking about a different context
Absolutely.
than a military or even law enforcement situation and
Right.
their rules of engagement and what civilians are going to come up against. But he, really said a lot of good things about his instructor and coming to Krav Maga and learning from a civilian and what you can take away from that training. But he had run a scenario so much in his head that his first officer involved shooting, he was so calm on the radio that nobody responded because it was just regular radio traffic, traffic stop. Or, we need 5-0 in here to Nick to give us some whatever the calls are that for it. But I guess the sergeant got on and was like, they're shooting, whatever, guys, officer involved shooting. That he was just so calm running through it. And that's the type of stuff you need to do and run yourself through and not go, well, some guy punches me, I'm shooting him. You're
not just,
God, you're so amped up over a guy cutting you in Starbucks. You're going to go to guns. You're going to even go to fists. What? Oh, kick his ass.
If you're getting that angry, there's something already wrong with you.
Down. Yeah, you probably shouldn't have a gun.
Well, yeah, because it sounds like he was giving good advice on when to go to it. That guy I was talking to, I was like, man, what happens if you lose your gun? And his answer was, and you hate it because I've already told it to you, is that I won't.
Yeah, I won't. Okay, buddy.
You won't? Yeah.
How many times a week are you practicing that?
And a few of the friends in the room were like, yeah, you never lose your gun, man. And I'm like,
yeah, you don't ever lose your gun.
And I'm like, if you go train, you're going to realize it's easy to lose your gun. It's easy, right? It's if you're not figuring out how people are going to do it to you and you don't see it once, you won't be ready for it. That's why we tell people here, let's show it to you 1,000 times here before you have to see it once out there.
Yeah.
Right? But I won't lose it. I won't lose it. I won't lose it.
I won't. Yes, you will.
Right.
Yes, you will. Train for that day.
Yeah.
I won't. Well, okay, great. It's like a fighter going, nobody's going to kick me in the leg.
Right. No one will
I don't
punch
need
me.
to do any conditioning. Nobody's going to kick me in the leg. It's a great mindset, but if you're not training it, then you're not doing it. It's just like, yeah, man, I'm fucking badass. Nobody's going to lay a hand on me. Yes and no.
Yeah, I mean,
you got to train for that worst case scenario. It was actually a seminar that I was with in Philadelphia with Boss Rutan years ago.
Yeah.
That he talked about a fighter that he trained that he had lost due to leg kicks. It wasn't the leg kick that put him out, but now he lost his wheels. Whatever happened in that fight.
Yeah.
But it was basically because you lost your wheels, and he never trained it. And then he comes to Boss Rutan and he's like, I want to do leg conditioning, and he's like, no. Boss is like, dude, you lost the last fight because of that. Yeah, you're going to train it.
Yeah.
Condition the legs to get kicked. So, maybe it takes one more kick to deaden your leg. Maybe it takes two more kicks, but you got to train it. These people that just want to talk about it or say it's never going to happen, well, guess what, guys? It does happen. It happens to law enforcement, and then they're shot with their own gun.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know, gosh, from my law enforcement training with Jeremy Stafford, with Krav Maga Alliance, it's been a long time, but it's up there, guys. It's, I hate that, like 50%. It was over 50%. At the time of that certification. So it's crazy. There's a big chance you're going to lose your gun. Somebody's going to grab your gun. Are you practicing weapon retention? Out of holster. Things that we're doing in IDS that you need to train. This stuff can happen to you. It's just so crazy that the people that I am just doing this. It's like the weightlifters that are like, I can deadlift 500 pounds. Fantastic. Run and save your daughter.
Yeah.
Run.
I don't run.
She's 3 miles away. Go. Shit.
Right.
Whatever you're stuck, you're like, oh shit. Shit has hit the fan and you're in freaking gridlock at Castle Pines here. Like, are you going to just sit there or are you going to get your gear and freaking go. I mean, right. It might be a fast ruck. I mean, obviously you don't want to get there and be totally out of gas. I mean, there's some strategic stuff.
But get up and move, right? Get up and move.
The context dictates the strategy, but as Todd will say, but man, you're not prepared. Yeah. Dude, you're strong as shit. And do I want you on my team? Yes. But if I don't have a team, and you're not part of it, and you don't have guys to do this stuff, and you still need some basic, you need that machine gunner. He's going to carry the heavy gun and more ammo than the guy that's my size.
Yeah.
But he's still able to carry his weight. He's still able to ruck.
Yeah.
And do that type of stuff. I mean, it's like my little brother is not all that little, and 220, bigger frame, bigger bone than I am, wider than I am. He was a big guy, but he could freaking carry his weight and more, especially back in his military days. And he always, he was, just as a young lieutenant, his guys loved him because he did everything with them. Like, we're going to PT and I'm doing it with you. That gets a lot of respect from your people. It's like here at the gym, like, dude, I've done everything you guys have done. I'm not going to ask you to do, like, let's make this crap up and make people do it. That instructor is lame.
Yeah.
For the most part, I've got, there's at least pictures of, pepper spray days and different things, and, a lot of the different things. Obviously, there's no video of, unfortunately, but, I've got instructors that have done it with me and different things. So
the other thing is that we teach you, if you're carrying a gun, and what's the likelihood that someone else out there will have a gun too? That's not a bad guy, right? Maybe it's a family member, maybe it's just a stranger, right? You got to know how to shoot around people no matter what the context is, right? Or if you've got a partner with you, you've got to learn how to shoot with a partner.
Yep.
I mean, how many people train that?
Yeah, around your family member and how to move.
Yeah.
In that, now that it's a gunfight, but, you've got to be moving.
Right.
Stuff that you just need to practice around other people, and who the heck, I guess you could dry fire it,
Yeah.
But you're not doing that under the range and trying to go fast and trying to make on-the-fly decisions where you got paper targets downrange, where we can do stuff with a SIRT pistol that is going to challenge you and your decision-making skills, and to be able to do those in real time. You can do that with the SIRT pistol. So, guys, you got to train. You got to get out of your comfort zone. I'm hammering it away. Get out of your comfort zone. Do something. Challenge yourself with a workout. Challenge yourself with starting a new class, getting out of your comfort zone. Try to, read a book, do something that you don't normally do, and you will be better for it Get up early and stretch. How many freaking guys like, oh, I'm freaking tired. Get up a half hour early and stretch for a half an hour.
Yeah, warm it up and stretch.
Do it 3 days a week. Whatever. 1 day's a start. 5 days would be even better. Stop making excuses. Find a good gym. Like-minded people. That's we had one of the newer guys on the Cravan Project Fit side here. Like, man, tell me after Murph, I've done a lot of different gyms. I really like the vibe here. Check out RMSDF if you're in the Douglas County area. We'd love to have you in. Love to help you out. Support the podcast at KravMaga-online.com or our ClearSky-online.com store. That'll really help us out. I can make fun of Josh more. I'd love to keep doing that. But we've got to pay the bills just like you. And it's just like every good martial art gym out there. Yeah, guys, it's not Karate Kid. It's going to cost you a little bit of money. And if you look at the things that you do for your family, for an activity, go-karts, whatever it may be, it's going to cost you money, and a good gym is going to cost you money. And I think most gyms are really reasonable. I look at the stats for the nation on what gyms are charging, and everything here around Castle Rock is, that's the rate. But if you're not familiar with it and you're caught up in Planet Fitness, a martial arts gym, a BJJ gym, a boxing gym, doing Citizen Defender is not that stuff, guys. So, get yourself over the sticker shock now, and that'll help you if you're out there around the country looking. I'm always here for you if you're a listener and you want me to check out a gym or give you a recommendation of what I would check out in your neighborhood. Hit me up. There's plenty of ways to contact me on all of our socials. So, guys, thanks for listening. Josh is telling me to wrap it up, which I am Josh. So, telling me what to do, but he also is limping around, so it's a pretty funny wrap up. I don't even know if he's like spazzing out over there. I don't know what he's doing. So, all right, guys, thanks for listening. Join us next time. And, this time was on YouTube, trying something a little bit different than our normal Sunday release of the podcast on YouTube. So, hopefully, this channel does a little bit better than Facebook, because I hate Facebook. They just heard that?
They're listening.
They heard that?
They're listening.
I know they are. Like, it's a necessary evil. There's good things and bad things. But, God, stop changing the platform. Stop changing it, Facebook. Every time I figure out your stupid platform on the business side, guys, not the easy, user-friendly. It's the back end of it. I couldn't even reset. How long did it take me to reset our freaking ad account yesterday?
Dude, 20 minutes.
No, it wasn't that long. I'm not that retarded, Josh.
Wow.
Wow. I'm slow, but not that slow.
Short bus.
What's that?
Short bus.
Short bus? It went by my house, but it had this guy that looks familiar to you.
Wrap
Sure
it
it
up.
wasn't you? You sure you didn't grow up on Spring Street? There was that bus that went by right before my bus. I swear there's a kid that looked
I'm going to have to
like
restart
you.
the bumper music now.
Yeah, reset the bumper music. All right, guys. Take care.